If you haven't heard, many planets and content are going inside the Destiny Vault in the upcoming fall update for Destiny 2. The Vault is basically the removal of content in the game, although their departure may not be permanent and could come back in the future. The return dates of the planets and any content have not been announced, and we will most likely not see any of them for a long while after their removal. The reason why this is happening is to keep Destiny 2 from becoming too large of a game, such as its download size, for example. Bungie has not announced that there will be alternative ways of completing certain quests after the vaulting. Apart from exotics, there are a couple things to do before the vaulting if you're a collector in the game, since there's a lot of content getting removed from the early seasons. So, what's leaving, and what do we need to do before this update arrives? First off, let's cover which planets will be vaulted. Mars, Mercury, Io, and Titan will be departing. For organization's sake, we'll be covering this planet by planet. Out of all the planets, Mars has the most to do if you're a collector. The War-Minded emblem requires 40 overridden frequency nodes found on Mars. The exotic weapons, Sleeper Stimulant, Lumina, World Line 0, and Polaris Lance are connected to quest lines involving Mars. The World Line 0's catalyst also requires the Will of Thousands strike found on Mars. Escalation Protocol will also be vaulted. With it, its loot, along with the Ikelos loot, including ships, sparrows, and shells, will be vaulted. This means you'll not be able to acquire the Wayfarer title anymore after the fall update. The Groundswell Nullifier 99 ship, Pacific Deception Sparrow, and Block Z shell can only be acquired from Escalation Protocol. Lastly, Anna Bray will be going on vacation along with her vendor loot, so try to get anything that you might want. Brother Vance will be leaving along with the opportunity to get Prophecy weapons. Warning on this one, you can only get a maximum of 3 Prophecy weapons per week. Once you get every single Prophecy weapon, you'll be given Sagira's shell. If you're a collector or are into emblems, each class has 3 emblems which can be acquired for equipping all of Brother Vance's armor pieces. Since Brother Vance will be leaving, he and his vendor loot will be going on vacation. The Universal Wave Function exotic ship drops from a Garden World in Nightfall, so make sure to grab that if you're interested. Along with that, the DFA hand cannon drops from the Tree of Probabilities Nightfall. The Silicon Neuroma sniper rifle can only be acquired from the Pyramidion Nightfall. This is a legendary sniper rifle, so be careful of its level cap, since it's a legendary and from an early season. So I would only recommend this for collection purposes or PvP if you like it. The Dynasty questline will give you the Mana War Linear Fusion Rifle. This is also a legendary weapon and has the same light level cap concern as earlier. The Whisper of the Worm Acquisition and Whisper Mission will be getting vaulted. This includes its catalyst as well, which you can get from running the heroic version of the Whisper mission. You can also get the ship 1,000 Wings from this heroic mission. This weapon is an exotic, and although it has fallen a bit from being a top tier DPS weapon, I still recommend getting it if you have great sniping skills or for your collection. And of course, with the departure of Io, Asher Mir, the vendor at Io, will not be there anymore along with his engram loot. This isn't a major concern unless you have reasons for getting his vendor loot. The Rat King exotic questline requires the completion of the Enemy of My Enemy quest on Titan, so make sure you complete that quest if you want the Rat King exotic weapon. The duty-bound auto rifle drops from the Savathun's Song Nightfall Strike. I believe this drops fully masterworked already, so if you're interested in it, I highly recommend getting it, but there are a lot of better options for auto rifles in the game. The Outbreak Perfected questline requires a Fallen Transponder on this planet. I'm a big fan of the Outbreak Perfected, and would highly recommend it if you're a new player or if you like its perk. Similar to all the other planet vendors, Sloane and her vendor engram loot will no longer be available. Even though Nessus is staying, the Menagerie will be vaulted. If you're planning on completing or getting anything related to the Menagerie, I recommend starting as early as possible if your chalice is not yet completed, since some tasks require a maxed out chalice, and that can sometimes take a few weeks. Also important to note is that the Tribute Hall will also be leaving along with the Menagerie. This includes all the loot that is exclusively obtained through the Menagerie, along with heroic Menagerie swords, sparrows, and ghosts. The exotic questline for the Truth, named A Scrap of Paper, can be acquired from the Menagerie. The catalyst for Izanagi's Burden can only be acquired from completing a heroic Menagerie run, so make sure to do this if you have the Izanagi's Burden or plan on getting it. The Bad Juju exotic is related to the mission Other Side, and its catalyst requires 45 tributes placed. One more thing that is fairly important is that if you like enemy-specific mods, Hive mods drop from the Menagerie. The Black Armory forges will be vaulted, sealing away the possibility of getting exclusive Black Armory weapons. Besides the legendaries that can be forged, there are several exotics tied to the Black Armory. This includes the Jotun, Le Monarch, and Izanagi's Burden. And due to the simplicity of forges, I recommend getting these exotics before the fall update. Leviathan and its related raids, Eater of Worlds, and Spire of Stars will be vaulted. As such, all raid exclusive loot will be going away as well. So if you're a collector, go ahead and farm those weapons, armor, and prestige variants. The Legend of Acreus exotic weapon can only be obtained through a questline related to these raids. Several exotics have their catalysts dropped from these 3 raids, and these catalysts are for the Legend of Acreus, Sleeper Stimulant, Telesto, and Skyburner's Oath. Crown of Sorrows and Scourge of the Past will also be removed in the fall. Similar to Leviathan, their exclusive loot will no longer be available. The Tarabra exotic drops from Crown of Sorrows, and the Anarchy exotic drops from the Scourge of the Past, so make sure to run these if you don't have these yet. These 2 raids also feature Fallen and Hive mods as drops. And lastly, the Always On Time Sparrow drops from the Scourge. Of course, if you've never done these raids before, you definitely should, since you never know when you may have the chance to play them again. And that's everything you need to know about what to do before the vaulting in the upcoming fall. Of course, you only need to do what you want to do. I'm not even completing all of this content for myself, since it's a bit too much. Good luck, Guardians, and I hope you're able to complete everything you want to. I'll have a link down in the description below about what's being vaulted in case you want a written version. As usual, thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all next time.